Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lotti and for this week's video I have my monthly wrap-up video for you. So let's talk about the books I read in August. I read 7 books in total in August. Like, I listened to some, but I also read some books. I don't have the physical copies right here because, as I said, audiobooks, you can't have physical copies of them, and I like to read on my ebook because it's just a little bit cheaper and more convenient for me. So I don't have the physical copies, but I want to talk about them anyway, so let's get started. Before we start the video, please write me in the comments your book recommendation, the books you read in August, your favorite book of August, all that kind of stuff. I would really appreciate that. But without further ado, let's talk about the first book. So for the first book, I read The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I listened to the audiobook. It was 9 hours or something, so it was okay. I have my laptop right here so I can read you the synopsis first, so I don't have to give you a summary because I'm very bad at this. Kate Harker and August Flynn are the hires to a divided city, a city where the violence has begun to breed actual monsters. All Kate wants is to be as ruthless as her father, who lets the monsters roam free and makes the humans pay for his protection. All August wants is to be human, as good-hearted as his own father, to play a big role in protecting the innocents, but he's one of the monsters. As I said, I listened to the audiobook and I ended up giving it 3 stars. Let me explain it before you come and attack me. I really like the book. I like the characters a lot. August will be forever in my heart because he's such a sweetheart. But in the beginning I was very confused and the story was kind of slow. So I lost a little bit of interest in the first half of the book. I really liked the last half of the book because there was more action and it was a little bit faster, the story. I know that in the beginning maybe the story has to develop a little bit more. I would say the second half would be 4 stars, but because of the first part of the book, I gave it a 3 star. I have to say I really like this book. I'm not sure if I should read the second part because I kind of got spoiled and I'm afraid. But maybe I will read it, but I don't think that I'm in the mental state to read the second book right now. So that will be in the future, maybe. So let's give it a 3 star. The second audiobook I listened to was The Hitchhiker Guide to Galaxy, which was written by Douglas Adams. I first started listening to the audiobook when I was very young, and the audiobook, the specific audiobook, my family and I really like to listen to when we are on long drives or in vacation. So this was one of the time. I don't even know how to summarize this book. It is just so all over the place and confusing, but also so funny, and the story is just so unique. So let me read you out the summary I found on the internet, and then we can talk about this book a little bit better. Okay, so Earthman Arthur Dent, saved by his friend Ford Prefect, an alien researcher, for the book Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy, which provides infos on every planet in the galaxy from the Earth just before it's destroyed by an alien Vogons. After being tossed out of the Vogon ship that they hitched on a ride, Arthur and Ford are rescued by the Heart of Gold, a spaceship driven by Sayford Beeblebrox, Ford's cousin and the president of the galaxy. The ship's crew, Arthur, Ford, Sayford, a depressed robot named Marvin, and a human woman named Trillian, are going on an adventure to Marathea. So they are going on a lot of adventures, but the book is basically about finding the ultimate question to the ultimate answer, which is obviously 42. We all know the 42. So I've gave this book 5 stars just because it's my entire childhood, and we listen every time to this specific audiobook. So they are always the same music, always the same narratives, always the same. It feels just like home. It is so crazy and weird, and that is what it makes so beautiful. So I recommend, when you like this type of weird stories, to actually read it if you haven't. But this was just coming home for me, and I really enjoyed it so much. The third book I read is The Gift of Anger and Other Lessons I Learned from My Grandfather Mahatma Gandhi, from Arun Gandhi, which is the grandson from the well-known Mahatma Gandhi. So the book tells us a lot of lessons. the author actually lived 2 years with Mahatma Gandhi, and he writes about his experiences and his growth and the lessons Mahatma Gandhi has told him. Every chapter is another lesson, and it is kind of parted with the life after Mahatma Gandhi. So the author tells us a little bit about the past and about the future, like how he lives now and how Mahatma Gandhi has changed his life. Not also because he was his grandfather, but because he was just a great human. This book was just really inspiring to me. I don't really read a lot of realistic books, and I want to read more of them because this was just so inspiring and so life-changing actually. So there are some books you read and you enjoy them, but you don't really think about them later. But this book was just so powerful. I thought about it like forever, until now even, and it was so good. Before I want to talk about my favorite books of the month, I want to talk about Covert. Covert is originally a German story, and when I did my researches for this video, I actually saw that Covert is translated in English, which made me so happy because I wanted to talk to you guys about this book so bad. Covert is a story by the author Ottfried Preußler, which is a very famous author in Germany. So the story plays in the 17th century, and Covert's parents actually died, and the church took care of him, but he wasn't like feeling the church, or I don't know, so he ran away and was like homeless with some of his friends. But at the time, 3 nights in a row, he had the same dream, a man calling him to the mill on the Black Water in Schwarzköln. He sneaked out, left his friends, and went to the mill on the Black Water. Nobody is ever coming there because it is like mysterious and kind of scary to the people, but Covert thought that he really had to go there because this voice just kept calling him. He stayed on the mill and wanted to become a miller boy, but it was actually with a twist. On the mill you get taught black magic. All of the miller boys, which are 12, which is kind of important, are learning the black magic from the master. Everything is kind of with a twist, and the story is just so developed, and I just really like the story. I can't really explain it well, you have to read it for your own. And I know that a lot of like my German friends don't really like the book because we are sometimes forced to read it in school, and school books are like not always like the best experiences, I would call it. But obviously this book is 5 out of 5 stars. It is just my childhood. I just love the story so much. There's also a movie called Covert, you can watch this as well. I haven't watched it yet because I have like this strong character picture in my head from Covert and all the other characters, so I don't really want that to be destroyed. But yeah, I really can just say you have to read it or you have to listen to it. It is just a great book. So now we are coming to my last 3 books, which are part of the series Shadowfalls. I just recently discovered this in August. My boyfriend kind of told me about the books, and I have to say I fall in love. So the first book is called Born at Midnight, and I just will quickly read you the synopsis. One night, Kylie Gallen finds herself at the wrong party with the wrong people, and it changes her life forever. Her mother ships her off to Shadowfalls, a camp for troubled teens, and within hours of arriving, it becomes painfully clear that her fellow campers aren't just troubled. Here at Shadowfalls, vampires, werewolves, shapelifters, witches, fairies train side by side, learning to harness their powers and control their magic and live within the normal world. Kylie never felt normal, but surely she doesn't belong here with a bunch of paranormal freaks either, or does she? They insist Kylie is one of them, and that she was brought here for a reason. As if life wasn't complicated enough, enter Derek and Lucas. Derek is a half-fae who is determined to be her boyfriend, and Lucas is a smoking hot werewolf with whom Kylie shares a secret past. Both Derek and Lucas couldn't be more different, but they both have a powerful hold on her heart. So I gave the first book 4 stars because I wasn't quite interested in the story, but I was very interested in the character developing. So the characters are so strong in this book, and as you heard, It is a lot about romance and about like Derek and Lucas, and I have to say I'm completely on the Lucas side because like, what was it called? He's like a smoking hot werewolf, and who doesn't like a smoking hot werewolf, you know? I can just say everyone can read this. It is a fantasy, yes, but it's also like just about friendship, romance, all this good type of stuff. I have to say it doesn't deal with a lot of heavy topics. It's just so light-hearted and a fun and quick read. After I read the first book, I immediately started the second book, which is called Awake at Dawn. Kylie isn't sure what she is, what her parents are, what her family situation is, and she hasn't figured out what with Derek and Lucas is going on. So everything is very complicated. She's a teenager, you know, she has a lot of problems. I think this book is a little bit better story-wise. The spirit came to her and keeps saying that someone she loved will die, but the spirit never says which person will die, so it's a little bit complicated for her. But also in this book, the character developing is just so good. I love the characters together, like the friendship, the love, the romances, like the interaction between the characters are just so good. This was also a 4-star read for me. For the third book in the series, which is called Taken at Dusk, Kylie still don't know who she is, what is going on, but there are some new characters who are coming. The plot is a little bit different this time. A spirit is coming to her and says someone will die and someone will live, which is also very stressful for Kylie. I gave this book also 4 stars, even though it is my favorite book of the series right now, just because maybe Lucas was there like a little bit more. I don't know about you, but I can crush about like persons in a book very hard. I don't know if I'm the only person. But yes, I gave this book 4 stars as well. I think it's just a 4-star series. I really like the story better, but I wasn't a huge fan of the ending, I have to say. Shadowfalls has 5 books, I think, so I have 2 more to go, and I plan them reading them in September. So stay tuned for my September TBR, which will be most likely up next week. So subscribe if you don't want to miss it. Okay, I think I will end this video now. I had a lot of fun making this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any more videos and want to support me. I hope you have a great day or night, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Bye!